Welcome to Yacht Crew Vlogs, where we tell the stories of those in the yachting industry. A behind-the-scenes look that discovers the individuals in the industry, their history, their passions, and what inspires them to do what they do. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome my next two guests, Cherise Reedman. She is with Pearls of Wisdom. And of course, a lady that needs absolutely no introduction, Gemma Hobart. She is the owner of the Yachts. Welcome, ladies. It was about a year ago you had your first event.
When I was on with you last, I actually got the date wrong. It was the 3rd of November last year. So yeah, we're going to be a full year nearly.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot longer.
But you guys had a really, really successful event.
So we held our second event at the Shard in London, and obviously when we spoke to you last, that was just on the horizon. Me and Gemma were looking forward to working with each other, and yeah, it was amazing. I couldn't have wished for anything better. We had over the full attendance, and it was just full of ladies that wanted to share, engage, network. It was, I've been part of one, and now that was the second, but obviously that was Gemma's first event. I suppose she could tell you how she felt about her first event, I guess.
For your first event, how did you think it went, and what were your takeaways?
So I think for me, it was so great to see Cherise's goals for Pearls of Wisdom kind of come to life, because up until that point it had just been our conversations, because I wasn't able to attend the first event. So going to the second one and seeing like this incredible group of empowering women come together and support and uplift, but also have those kind of hard conversations, and then after see those relationships continue with a lot of our attendees and our speakers, I was like, I get this now. I was on board before because I loved the vision, but now I completely see it, and I am just so proud of what Cherise has done. I think the mission is incredible, but it's not just an idea, it's something that's actually being actioned now, which it's just really cool to be a part of. I think it's just something really special.
Originally, the first event was kind of a one-off, but because it was so successful, you had the second one, and now because that has been so successful and there is a demand, you've decided to host one in Spain.
I have decided. Obviously, when we spoke last, I was like, should I, shouldn't I? A lot of the reservations with that was obviously I didn't know upscaling the event, how successful it would be, but also logistically running an event in another country when that's not the country. You can just, I've got a 2-year-old, so it's not quite easy for me to just jump on a plane and go check out a venue. But what changed my mind was the support of our sponsors. They really enjoyed the event. Sally Aston from Dola is, she's a massive advocate for this, and I would have to say, she kind of came up with the idea for for Palma. She really wanted that to happen. And Luxury Hospitality, Peter Vogel, was also really, really supportive. They'd really enjoyed the event, and their activity during the event went amazingly, and all of the guests loved that engagement. And so those were as well as Gemma herself, they were all very keen to do it. And it wasn't really until Sally said, why not Palma, that I'd kind of gone, right, okay, let's do it. So like the other one, we started putting feelers out. If we hosted the event, what do we do it on? And it's all kind of come together again. Like I said before, this seems to be happening quite organically, and it's being driven by, I'd like to think, a new community of ex-stews and current stews and ladies that work on land. It's developing now. I've got a lot of projects on the horizon, but the website is being redone right now. So we are going to be able to create a tool for all women, whether they've left or whether they're still in, which will just have a number of different sets of advice on different aspects of life. Obviously this project started with finance, then we went on to protection for women on board, and then we went on to looking at your potential. So it's kind of gradually, each topic is coming up and it's all facets of women's lives, and the website will just be a one-stop shop. If I can't help you with the advice, then I can definitely point you in some very trusted locations, and connect with some trusted individuals. And that's my main thing now, is the connecting with trusted individuals, you know, people that don't only talk the talk, but they walk the walk in whatever industry they're in, like yourself, Rhea.
Originally, this was set up to help those that were looking at transitioning ashore. It has grown into much more than that. Gemma, where is this going?
I think that was actually one of the main things that initially drew me to Cherise, because while the conversation initially was, she called me because I had just left yachting, you know, about a year prior, and we were talking about that. But then the conversation very quickly turned, as Cherise said, to the protection of stews on board, and also that financial planning aspect. And I think just that understanding that you're absolutely not alone, but our time on board is not ever going to really be a 40 or 50 year career. And it may be for some, but it is rare. So I think it's that natural progression of, okay, well, we're going to help the women that are leaving, but there's actually a lot that they can do before that. And then as we were discussing, and as Cherise has been speaking with more individuals, the topic keeps coming up of, well, actually, there's a lot of women on board that need help now. You know, we don't want them to have to wait 2 or 3 years for them to decide to leave yachting, for them to be able to, you know, for us to be able to help and serve them. They need help now. And those are girls who are, you know, stewardesses who are starting, or who are a couple years in and they maybe feel alone, or they're going through mental health struggles, or they're looking at, you know, different leadership alternatives or careers. And there's so many avenues to cover that I think Cherise has the mindset of, if you need help, she wants to provide it. So I just think it's awesome. You know, it's great to have one central location, as Cherise was saying, for trusted individuals as well, because there's a lot of, you know, smaller avenues that you can research, but to go to one place where everything you could need from beginning all the way to you left yachting 10 years ago, well, here's some more resources for you, to have everything compiled into one is just a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not sure why it wasn't invented ages ago, because this is such a need. It's a very cool thing.
One thing that I notice when both of you speak, you talk about stewardesses, but it is not specifically for stewardesses, for women.
Yeah, I mean, it is women, you know, I'm not going to lie, I've got limited resources, and this is focused on women, you know, regardless of whether you're a captain or you're a basic stewardess, you're still going to face the same questions. You're going to have to ask yourself, you know, are you going to continue it? Are you going to have a family? You know, what are your career options afterwards? Obviously, I'd like to believe that if you work on the deck side of things and you get up to bridge, that you're not fired for your looks, which we all know that can be that can happen, you know, within just a general stewardess position. But it's not, you know, the whole thing with Pearls of Wisdom is to empower and give women the tools to make yachting an amazing experience. But not only that, we're now working on a project to connect with the ex-stews to see what you can do next. So I've got another project in development. We're just advertising now. It's the ex-stew market. And the ex-stew market is a collection of profiles of women that have left the industry. Now, this is just to inspire. You know, these are for girls that are on board right now. They can go and have a look at this page and have a look at what women are capable of as soon as they come out of the industry. And I think a lot of the time that feeling of being lost and not knowing, you want to quit, but you have no idea what you want to do. And I think that's because, and the reason why I've started Pearls of Wisdom is the ex-stews are not getting much airtime. You know, then nobody's kind of hunting them out and finding what happened next. And I think that's a really big part of the journey and the story of a time in yachting, you know. And I, you know, like I said to you before, the exit is probably more important than when you go in. You know, you have got the guts to do the adventure, to get on board, but the exit, if it's not managed properly, it is tough, you know. Even if you've got all your ducks in a row, it can be still really tough. But it's, you know, we're all capable women and we can all, you know, make it better. But inspiration is the next thing for me. I want to inspire the women that are still in there and what they could do next. What are the possibilities? How to even reflect on their own capabilities. LH are going to be a part of this project again in Palma, and we're going to look at your individual dynamic and what are your pros, what are you good at, what are the attributes that you can take moving forward into your next career. Yeah, positive. It's all positive. That's what I want. It's going to be a positive support and inspiration for whoever wants to have a look, I suppose.
This goes beyond having lunch. This is a resource.
Yeah, as long as, me and Gemma, if I, beg your pardon, Gemma, I think we will continue to do this. If we can get the funds together to host these events, we'll keep doing it, and we'll be led by the community themselves. This is a women's community project, networking, whatever you want to call it. I think it goes a bit further than networking as such, but if I can do it, I will continue to do it. If they want it, I will help provide it, and I will be led by them. I've got an idea of we call it 12 pearls of wisdom, if you can divide a woman's life that simply. But their topics aren't defined, what is needed, and Gemma said that, she's happy to go with it forward. I think we've got quite a good partnership, I would say. Yeah.
You really are creating, a sense of community.
This event is obviously, we're looking at, the title is Untapped Potential and Entrepreneurs. So we're covering both topics. And I think a lot of women get a bit stuck because they don't, again, like I said, I want to help them see what happens next, see what women have done afterwards. They're obviously one of the easiest ones we've found is the entrepreneur one. So like connecting with women that have created their own businesses and their stories and how hard it is and the highs and lows. We're going to listen to actually what they've got to say, but all of the events are small. I want to be able, this is not a massive event. I want to give everybody the opportunity to ask the questions to the experts that we've got in the room, or have an opportunity to talk to each other. The food and the wine is very, very, very important, I have to say. We like to treat our ladies in the environment they've grown accustomed to, and they're like I said before, what they've got to say is extremely valuable, even if that person's not in the room. So all of the event will be recorded, so all of the things that are discussed and the individuals that that are guest speakers. So if you're not there, you can go on to the website and watch it. It's you can still be part of this growing community, and then hopefully in the future, if you do like the project and you're in the port where we're doing something, you can come along.
Well, and how do they get a hold of you? Can they, say for example, Fort Lauderdale is really looking forward to having an event like this?
I've said that to Cherise because I love Florida and I go all the time, and I'm like, we should go to Fort Lauderdale, but Cherise, obviously you are a mom, so it's different. But I think that's also a great thing to bring to Pearls is, between the two of us, like we are just at very different stages in life. So I think that's a unique perspective for us. But I'm trying to convince Cherise that we should go to Florida. So we'll see.
Like I said, this is a community project. You can reach out to both me and Gemma, and if you can't come, we've got lots of other things going on. With location wise, Gemma's out with her business, the Yacht Stew in Fort Lauderdale, the show this year. So if you want to connect with her and the Pearls project, she's going to be over there looking all very glamorous and tanned probably, and I shall still be in the UK. But we are working on a few other things. Gemma has posted about a Christmas social, so that would be not as rich as the format that we've got, but it would be bringing together ex-stews, current stews if they're at home. And then April next year is the next event that will be in the UK, unless I can convince people to do it in maybe France, but we'll see. What do you reckon, Gem? Do you want to do on TEEF?
I mean, I think it'd be awesome. It's always great. I think what's just really cool about pearls is that there is no limit to the impact, but also to the information that is shared. It's always just going to grow and build, and opportunities like going to Antibes or Fort Lauderdale will eventually just kind of naturally progress because the community is not limited to one area. And I think that's the beauty of Cherise, videoing everything and putting everything online, is we're almost at capacity. I think we're 80% at the moment for this upcoming event. But it doesn't mean to say that in future you can't come to another one, or you can't, just watch it when you're on watch, or, in the evening in your cabin and you're curious. So I just think that's what's something really special about Pearls, is it's not a really exclusive members only, kind of corner. It's this really open, honest, and transparent platform. And who knows where it will continue to grow.
Who knows?
Well, and the great thing about it is that it's only made possible through its sponsors, of course.
Sponsors are fantastic. Like I've said, I mentioned, we've got Mimo again. We've got a new sponsor. We've got Divergent Yachting. We've got Marine Accounts again. Obviously, they're trusted finance, like my husband, who's Reading and Wealth Management. So that's covered. But yeah, Divergent Yachting are a new addition to our roster, and we're really excited to work with them. And then after this event, we will be going to the Super Yacht Charities Golf. Not that me and Gemma can play golf, but we're just gonna go and support, because we both want to help that charity out as well. So this October is going to be fun, and obviously you get to experience Pearls of Wisdom firsthand, Ria. So you'll be able to give everybody your professional opinion on what we've been up to.
I need to stop giving my professional opinion. Yeah, but it's going to be really nice to be part of it.
If anyone's interested in any events that we do come up with, we obviously all share on social media, but we have a Facebook group as well, called Ship to Shore, and Ship to Shore Ladies, I believe it's called. It's open to all women in the industry that are on board or kind of transitioning out. And we post little events. A few weeks ago, we did an outdoor movie night, a Mamma Mia local to me, and anyone is welcome to use that group as well to facilitate meeting up with people in their local area that maybe they wouldn't have met otherwise. So that's also a great avenue to learn about the events, and Cherise and I are active in there, so you can ask us any questions as well. But if you're want to meet other women that are on board, or maybe in the same port, or you've moved back to Oz or wherever you are, it's a great resource as well.
Well, and we're going to make sure to provide every one of the links that you provide us with below this interview when it airs. Thank you very much, Cherise. I appreciate your time.
It's lovely talking to you as always, Ria. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. This has been Cherise with Pearls of Wisdom, and of course, Gemma, the Yacht Stew. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Yes. Well, of course, everybody knows Gemma. You've been watching another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next time.